That was a song of mine called Snack Bar off a few albums now. It's on the Hishikaku album, Hishikaku Quartet, which is on Earshift. It's on my album on Earshift, and it's on our band's EP, EP, SMTK, very easy to remember, SMTK, the debut EP, and that's a song called Snack Bar. Next we're going to play a tune also off that EP, called In the Wise Words of Drunk Koya by Mr. Matsumaru K on the saxophone. Thank you very much. The next tune, and most likely the last tune we're going to play, is Let Others Be the Judge of You. If you look at the bottom of the video, there's a link to a PayPal account, and all the money that you donate will help me be able to afford to feed Kay Matsumaru tonight. Helping out. So any donation would be much appreciated. Big shout out to Jeremy at Earshift for organising this awesome series of events from all across the world. And yeah, this next song and the last song is a song of mine called Let Others Be the Judge of Me, of You. Let Others Be the Judge of You, which can be found on through the Earshift website and lots of other places. So yeah, thank you very much. Kei Matsumaru, ladies and gentlemen, Kei Matsumaru.
Thank you.
Okay, Matsumoto on the saxophone. I've been Marty Holoubek. Thank you very much.
Marty Holoubek.
Right up. All right, let me see if I can set this up properly. Right up. Okay. Here we go, friends.
Marty.
Hey, how you doing? You hear me?
Hey, man.
Hey,
Thank you so much. That was great.
no, it was good fun.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure if you introduced where you're streaming from, but
would you like to? Or?
let's hear it.
So we're coming at you live from my house in Tokyo. Can you hear us? Is it all right?
We can hear you, but we can't really see. Maybe just angle the computer down a little, or the cam. That's better. Beautiful. There you are. And thanks for braving the performance in your apartment. I know it sounds like you've been having some issues with your neighbors.
Well, I mean, it was only just this one massive party that we kind of had.
That'll probably do it.
shouldn't have had it, so, yeah.
Yeah. Particularly during a global pandemic.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, look, it was a surprise party thrown for me, so I didn't really know who or how many people were coming. But kind
It was out of your hands. Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So that was a great set. So let's chat through some of those tunes. So Snack Bar, that's you've been getting some royalties from all the recordings. It's a bit of a hit. Yeah.
It's, I think Kay was saying it's become a bit of a Tokyo standard here.
Yeah.
It's a standard I play.
It's a standard that Kay knows, yeah.
It's a standard. Yeah. We'll have to add it to the Australian real book, or if there's a Japanese version. Yeah.
The Japan Jazz Real Book, yeah.
Yeah. Great. What's the title? What's the reference there, snack bar.
Snack bar. So snacks here in Japan, they're kind of these weird, like late night spots that you only go if you're really drunk, and it's kind of like this little bar where you often do karaoke with the owner of the place,
Mm.
and you kind of yeah, you're kind of there and you're drinking, and then they kind of passing the mic around the room. I mean, I haven't been there since the pandemic started, but yeah, I'm just getting the signal to turn up. Can you hear me better now? Is that better?
That's better. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, and then so the snack. Wait up, I'm just getting sound directions here. I think this will do. All right, is it better now, Jeremy?
That sounds good. Yeah.
Thanks, man. I've been working on my tone. Yeah. So a snack is so it's basically this late night drinking hole where weird stuff happens, and the owner of the place is normally what they call a mama, and the mama kind of gets you drunk and makes you sing karaoke.
Yeah.
Never been to one.
You've never been to a snack?
Never been to one.
You're missing out.
I think I've
basically,
been.
I mean, I wrote that kind of inspired by a night where I went to a snack bar and wasn't drinking, but still slept through my alarm the next day for a festival down in Yokohama. So
Oh,
it was good. Good time.
yeah. First and last time you missed a gig, right?
Oh, actually, I didn't miss the gig because the sound
Oh.
check was 4 hours early, so I actually made it in time for the gig.
Good.
Even though it was 2 hours away from where I was. So, yeah.
It's often a thing of if you miss the last train, you'll end up at one of these joints, right?
Yeah, one of the snacks, exactly.
And Kay, the
Yeah.
second tune in the wise words of I
Drunk.
missed
Drunk Koya, yeah.
Drunk Koya.
Drunk Koya.
Who was Drunk Koya?
Yeah. So I lived in Boston for 4 years, and my roommate came home drunk, really drunk, one night, and he was, blabbering about some stuff, mostly about I don't know, mostly about the world and how unsatisfied he is with the world, and he was trying to say some very wise things to me. He was trying to teach me because he was a little bit older than me. So I decided to record him because I thought it would be funny to, have him listen to it the next day. So, and then he was like, "Oh, maybe you should turn this into a tune." So I transcribed what he said into notes and then rearranged it so that it made sense musically.
Yeah.
I didn't know
what
that.
it is. Yeah.
I think every
That's a
time
big
we've introduced this song, it's been in Japanese, so I've never really
Right.
got the grasp of it.
Right. People usually don't say the full title either. So,
That's a big thing of arranging speeches into compositions. I know there's examples of these speeches of the ex-prime minister here in Australia, but I've never heard of anyone using a drunk person. But
Drunk rambling, yeah.
it doesn't. It didn't really sound like that. I had a beautiful ornette sort of vibe with the unison writing. So
yeah. I was listening to a lot of Ornette at the time, so huge influence.
Yeah.
In the composition.
Right. Yeah. And I love your sound, man. It's
Thank you.
yeah, it's beautiful tone and the use of the quarter tones. It's it kind of reminded me of Hayden Chisholm. Have you heard of this saxophonist? He's actually Kiwi, but he's based in Cologne or Berlin. Have you heard of Hayden Chisholm? Oh, you have to check him out. Yeah. Yeah, it's got that sort of Paul Desmond mixed with quarter tone.
Desmond quarter tone music, beautiful.
That's it. Yeah. No, they've got this album with this trombonist Niels Wagram. I think it's is it 42nd and a quarter Street? Yeah. Yeah, and the other third tune, Don't Let the Others Be the Judge of You. That's man, that's a real tour de force of the bass, Marty. Looks like you're I haven't seen you play that live, but that's a big stretch.
It's a big stretch, yeah. Especially on this bass is a bit bigger than other basses, so it's a bit hard. I don't know why I kind of wrote it like that, but I think I wrote it off the bass, so I think that's the problem.
Oh,
yeah.
That's the problem. That's where all the advancements in technique really come from, I guess.
I
Trying to
guess so. Yeah,
apply other.
learning non-bass music, I think, is where you get better at the
Yeah,
bass.
yeah.
Mm.
Um, and let's talk a little bit about the album. You say
Yeah,
it's it was a bit of a reflection on your relocation to Japan.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So a lot of these tunes on the record were written, um, kind of with like in that transition period of me leaving Australia and coming to Japan, and then that first kind of, I guess it would have been 6 months of being here. Um, and so yeah, there's a bit of like it was a roller coaster of things that happened throughout that. I mean, I left Melbourne pretty early on. I think I essentially had kind of left the music scene early in 2018. Essentially, like, I picked up a theater gig, which was a kind of good springboard to make some cash before moving away. And then before I did that, and then sorry, after I did that, I moved to Sydney to do another theater gig for a couple of months, and then I left. So essentially, I was still in Australia 6 months before I left, but I kind of felt like I checked out a bit before then.
right.
Yeah, not saying that
Yeah.
theater gigs are checking out, but it was a nice little springboard to get me over here.
And what led you to being able to stay there? I know it's a big transition to move countries like that. So
Yeah, so I moved here on a working holiday visa, um, and that goes for 18 months. So I was pretty fortunate. I had a pretty lucky time here on that visa. I picked up a gig on a TV show, which I'm still kind of doing, um, as an actor. Um,
oh my god, okay.
yeah, yep. I'm an actor. I mean, the show's about music, so I do play a bit of music in the show, but I'm acting in Japanese, and that's very hard considering my Japanese isn't very good. So um, that's a big kind of gig that kind of kept me here. Um, and I had run into some visa problems actually at the end of the working holiday, because there isn't technically a visa here for musicians. But because of this TV show, I kind of could stay on as an actor in a I was a my visa was talent and model visa. Um, which I mean, understandable,
Sums you up. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, and so that's kind of how I've stayed on, and I mean, the music community here has been pretty special, and like have taken me on uh, with open arms, which has been I
Mm,
felt very lucky to be a part of it.
yeah. I it feels like your approach to music, your aesthetic, and the particularly the way you play the bass, that high energy. I mean, you're a versatile bass player, but that the particularly high energy has really fitted in well within the Japanese kind of scene.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I think, and a lot of the
ha,
musicians.
have
Go.
you thought about that at all? I mean, has it been a sort of kindred thing where you've just hooked
But
up
I think
straight away?
it's more like that. Like it's more. I think maybe the way that I've kind of. I mean, growing up, well, as spending my 20s in Melbourne, and hanging out and playing with the likes of musicians like Scott Tinkler and Scott McConaughey, or all these people, which is very high energy music a lot of the time. Um, that was always a big inspiration for me. And then I guess I had that coming here, and I was very lucky enough to connect with musicians who also have that kind of approach to music, um, and it's fun. I mean, I enjoy it because you're going hard, and it's kind of just committing to the music, and in a kind of intense way. It's really exciting for me.
Mm, yeah. And do you feel it's a much bigger kind of industry there? Are you getting a lot more opportunities for? I mean, there's not
Totally.
much touring happening at the moment, but
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, being
it's a bigger
here.
population. There's more of an international. You get a lot of touring artists. Well, before
Yeah,
pre-pandemic.
yeah. Well, I mean, once again, it's like, yeah, it's a big population. So doing gigs here, you kind of, you're playing to more people. Just that by statistically, you're playing to more people. But there are more clubs as well, and also music and the culture here it's very well respected. Um, you tell people you're a musician, and it's not like, oh, what's your day job? It's kind of like, oh, cool, like great. Um, And there are still record labels here that are like funding big projects and big tours and stuff like that. And it's just seems like this kind of, I don't know how much longer it's going to last, especially with the pandemic kind of halting things. But I've been a part of some like big major label projects where I'm getting paid, quite well, and the projects themselves are, the production on the projects is unbelievable. I just I never thought that kind of I thought those days were over essentially.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's talk a little bit about working with Shun. Shun Ishiwaka, the drummer.
Yeah.
Seems like you guys have got an amazing hookup, and you're featured on the album, the first Proxy with James
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Macaulay. Also tremendous album. And
Uh-huh.
I've been listening to James Bauer's new album, which is totally killing and really beautiful as well.
That was
Um,
a very fun project.
yeah. So what's it like working with Shun?
Well, so Shun, so this is, I mean, I met Kay through Shun. We both moved here about the same time. And we met on a gig. Shun's been playing with the great trumpet player Hino Teramasa Hino for a few years now.
Yeah.
Legendary, Japan jazz icon. And so they were playing a gig, and we both came along. Shun invited us both to hang out. And so we ended up playing with Teramasa, and that's how we first met. And then we formed this band SMTK. So, but back to Shun is like Shun I met on tour here in 2015 with the Lagerphones, Melbourne based kind of punk Dixie jazz band, with James Macaulay as well. And afterwards we stayed on, and James and I stayed on and played with Aaron Chulai, the great piano player. And it was through Chulai that we met Shun. And immediately, I mean, I was 24 at the time and Shun was 22. We kind of had this we had this hookup, which was really, really funny. I mean, he's obviously grown up around Aaron, so he was a bit of a larrikin and loved to drink, and through that kind of connection, but he was also there was a lot of respect, kind of the Japanese kind of respect kind of culture. And I remember we did this rehearsal and it was unbelievable. Like he just sounded freakishly good. Um, but he made a mistake on one of the tunes, and I jokingly said to him, "I was like, oh hey man, like can you just be careful of that? Like that really kind of really like fuck things up." And he was just like, "Oh no, like yeah, no, I'm really sorry, like sorry." And then I was just like, "Nah, man, it's totally
The
fine."
sarcasm
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
always cross cultures. You got to.
exactly, yeah. Anyway, so then through that, I've been lucky enough. Shun's, I mean, he's the most in demand musician in Japan, arguably.
Yeah.
He's been, even through the pandemic,
Definitely.
he's been
Mm,
recording every day. He's
mm,
been doing sessions every day, and like
my God. Yeah.
then yeah. So that, and he's also one of my best mates here. So I think
Mm,
it's been a pretty special time to hang out with Shun. Who's
mm,
just
mm.
he's just released a new record. What's coming out in a couple of days?
Yeah. Next week.
Next week he has a like this singer songwriter project where
Yeah.
he just plays piano and writes
We're
the
both on
songs.
it.
Oh, you're on it. Yeah,
I'm on
clarinet. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm playing
Oh,
clarinet.
nice. Nice.
Yeah. So this is the fifth
Beautiful.
installment of that. So
Okay. Wow. Fifth.
yeah.
Prolific singer songwriter too.
Oh, he's a bit like that.
Cool. And tell us a little bit about your experiences during this global pandemic, and what are your kind of plans, if you have any?
Yeah, well,
Both of
definitely.
you. I mean,
Definitely.
how are things going?
So I mean, I've kind of loved it, to be honest. I had a pretty hectic couple of years leading up to this, and I mean, I think I was burning the candle at both ends extremely. Um, and then because of this kind of visa problem coming up to the beginning of April, I'd kind of planned not to be working as much. Um, and so I kind of had some savings, and I was getting ready to not work. And then at the beginning of April in Japan, Corona came. So I had a head start on everyone. I was a
Right.
bit like,
Yeah.
cool. Everyone's, all gigs were cancelled and stuff. And most of my gigs were cancelled because of the visa anyway. So I was like, okay. Um, and then I kind of, we launched a record then,
Yeah.
right at the beginning of
Yeah.
the pandemic with our band SMTK. It was just before we put out the EP.
Um. Yeah. 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 We put out the EP like right when Tokyo was in lockdown.
That's right. but we had a gig. We had a launch like at Roppongi Barrett just before.
Yeah.
So we had the
Right
launch.
before.
We launched the EP just before lockdown, and then which was cool because there was quite a few people there, and we got a bit of traction from that. And then the album came out in the middle of lockdown.
Yeah.
And that was also kind of cool. I mean, it sucked that we couldn't tour it or perform it live, but it was, I guess, a lot of people at home listening to music. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think the label was particularly happy because we weren't moving many
No.
units, but
Yeah, because we had a bunch of festivals lined up and they were all
cancelled. Yeah.
canceled.
Yeah. And Kay, you've been at home practicing Bach.
Yeah, I practiced Bach on keyboard for a couple months.
It's pretty cool.
Right.
After that, but yeah, it was a good time to reflect, go back and do the basics.
Right.
Practice.
Yeah. I feel like everyone's been writing a lot more music. I'm hoping that when things hopefully when the things open up a little bit more, we're going to see a real flood of new music coming out.
Totally,
which is pretty
I think
exciting.
so.
And perhaps new collaborations, or people are thinking about what's important to us. How what are the most important projects, because time is so precious, and
That's
especially
it, man.
face to face
Yeah.
connections and engaging with audiences live.
Exactly. And I have noticed that coming back because gigs have been coming back for the last couple of months here. And I noticed a big kind of thing after the gig started, that people in the audience were just so there was just this feeling of people really happy to be seeing live music and being in the audience and feeling it live.
Yeah.
That was super special. I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. Like people actually like music,
Yeah. And also beautiful initiatives like being able to, I probably wouldn't have done this online initiative if it wasn't for this. So hopefully we can do more things like this in the future. Right? Yeah. Have you guys been doing a lot of streaming activities? A few of the venues here in Sydney, they're just streaming is becoming a part of the normal thing to do now. So I was just wondering,
Yeah, so Tokyo, we've done SMTK, that band, we've done one a month for the last since June, I think.
Yeah, 5 months.
Yeah, and then I've been doing a bunch of other people's streaming gigs, and it's become a hot commodity, I guess. I remember at the beginning of it was kind of seemed quite fun and exciting, and then I think it's now just become this kind of weird regular thing.
There was a bit of a flood of streaming. They were talking about this streaming tsunami.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like. Was it ticketed? I'm just wondering. Always thinking about the best way to deliver these types of things. I mean, it's good just to get it out there, but
a lot of them were ticketed.
Yeah, like cheaper tickets.
Yeah.
But we had a bigger reach as well. Like I did one streaming gig, and a lot more people than would have been able to fit in the venue watched it. So it's interesting. I think my biggest concern is a lot of it's done it's a bit hack, I think. And I think it's almost better. I'd rather see someone make a good video and put it up online than trying to do these kind of
lo-fi.
Especially like venues and stuff. Like I think they could do things a lot better as opposed to just being like, here, this is the venue and we've set up some mics and now we're streaming it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There are some places that have, brought in some really high quality streaming.
Yeah.
Like Studio Dead 8.
Yeah, so this recording studio here, it's got this unbelievable streaming setup. I think they invested a lot of money into it. And so I've done a couple of them recordings there. It's like recording in the studio, like a studio quality recording, but also everything's in 4K and the camera crew is really good and it's like lighting's great. So
yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, guys. Well, thanks so much for chat, and special shout out to Marty Holoubek's amazing album Trio 1, and available on all good streaming platforms and Bandcamp. And you can go through the earshift.com website to
Especially through Earshift.
check it out.
Bandcamp.
Yeah. So thanks, guys. It was really great to catch up.
Mate. See you
Thanks
soon,
for the music. Yeah. Okay. Peace out.
Bye-bye.